Guys and girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. Thanks for tuning back in. Thanks for coming back to see me. I'm really pleased about to bring you another Seestern. I never thought, as I said to you before, when I bought one, it didn't really work out. It took a while to get my second one. That was the Pilot's watch that I showed you a little while ago with the full lume dial. Very, very good. And for the price, I think it's hard to be beaten for that style of watch, that sort of Pilot style. But this one, again, it's a GS Homage. I'm not going to go into any further details than that. This one looks the business. It's one that I was really keen to get in. You'd have seen it on my sale video, the AliExpress choice one that I did. Seestern are doing bits on there. So I really wanted to get this in to show you. I've gone for the sort of blue fume dial that they're doing. There's a white dial and a black. This one looks the business. S416 is the series that they're doing with this. I'll leave a couple of links. One's going to be the AliExpress choice, one's going to be the normal. Obviously the AliExpress choice will probably be cheaper, but prices do fluctuate, so obviously do look towards the one that works out better for you. But this looks the business, and I can't lie, Seestern are doing bits at the moment, so really pleased about to get this in, and hopefully this is on my way to keep going with Seestern, because they do seem to be offering great value for money. But as I always say, by the time we get to the end of the video, hopefully you know if it's for you or not. If it is, please use the affiliate link in the description. Won't cost you any more. Just makes your life easier and gives a kickback. But with that being said, I'll stop going on. It's about that time to get the camera turned around and get on with it. Hi guys and girls, so this is the watch. As you can see, usual packaging from Seestern. I really don't mind though, to be honest. I don't buy these sort of watches for the packaging. And I'm really becoming a lover of Seestern now, and I'll show you why. So this is the packaging, briefcase style, clips to keep it in, keep it closed, immer foam on top and bottom. There's the watch, which we'll go through that in a moment. They gave a little bit of bubble wrap that it sits in as well. Instruction manual, again, that's quite something. Again, I won't be reading it either, but more power to you if you do. Warranty card, not signed, but I'm under the impression that through AliExpress choice it won't be signed, I do believe. Through Seestern themselves, they do sign it, so do bear that in mind. And they also gave a screwdriver, which was handy because it's got screw pins. So there we go. Let's just put that all to the side quickly, and then we can focus on this watch. They do also do this with a white dial and a black dial. This one looked like the one to get though. It's a blue sunburst dial, but quite oftentimes it does look like a fume dial, and I'll explain, because quite oftentimes when I'm wearing it, oftentimes you'll see it looks very, very dark on the outside, but that's just a sunburst. But it does look like it has a fume dial. But the blue's beautiful. Blue, it sort of gets darker because of the sunburst. It's very, very stunning. But yeah, this is the Seestern S416. You'd have seen this video, this watch on my AliExpress choice sale video. Let me just turn that bezel around. It's going to drive me crazy otherwise. Got a bit aligned, didn't we? And it was one that I wanted to get in as soon as possible, so I'm pleased to bring it to you. I'm really impressed with the fact Seestern even have a choice store and do quite a few watches on there, because I do think that even the prices they sell their watches for full price, it is worth it, to be honest. So the fact that they're doing this on AliExpress choice for quite a bit cheaper is unreal. So yeah, the S416. Inside this watch, it's running a Seiko NH35 movement. I'll bring some information up about that movement now. You've seen this movement numerous times at this point. Rugged, reliable movement. NH35 also has a 4R35 when an actual Seiko watch. 24 joules, 21,600 beats per hour, 40-hour power reserve. And this one is literally running bang on time. I kid you not, I've worn it for a week and it's neither gained nor lost any time, which for me is unbelievable, really. I don't know if they regulate their movements. I'm not sure, but this is unbelievable. For a watch that I purchased when there was a sale on, I got this for £70. And when I'm going to show you other stuff on this watch, you won't believe it. And even at the current time of recording, this was selling for 90 quid on AliExpress choice, and even then you're like, wow. So there we go. That's the movement, NH35 movement. So yeah, we go. The construction of the watch, aside from the crystal and the bezel insert, is all 316L stainless steel. So the case is brushed. The brushing on this to the transitions to the polished surfaces is exceptional. So the polish at the top, like, so you got a little brush surface, polished, quite a thick edge there, thinner going through the case, brushed on the side, and you'll see the transitions are so sharp. Really, really nice. The lug fit at the ends is nice. Then you've got the bracelet. You'll see it's a mixture of brushing and polishing, but so sharp. Polished at the side, screw pins as I mentioned at the start. The back of the bracelet is all brushed. The clasp, I'm pleased to report they've got rid of that polished catcher they had that was polished. I'm glad they now have it as brushed. So that's all brushed on the tops, polished at the sides. Brushed at the sides. 4 levels of micro adjustment. It's a friction release clasp. There's no buttons or anything. You just pull it. It opens up, fully milled. Obviously also highlighting the fact it's stainless steel. Case back, pretty much all brushed with information on there. It's got a little polished edge going around the outside. Solid end links. Brushed on the back of the case. But yeah, finished really, really well, guys. Belies the price really, really well. The case thickness of the watch is 13.2 millimeters. The case diameter, I normally measure from the 8 to the 2 on here. You can do 9 to the 3. It doesn't really matter. It's coming at 44.1 millimeters, and when you go from there to there, including the crown, obviously when it's screwed up, it's coming at 47.9 millimeters. The lug width on this is 22. That does taper down to 20 and back up to 22 at that. I'd say partly milled clasp. I do think that outer shell is pressed, but either way, for the money, really, really nice. Also signed, and you've got the starfish on there for Seestern. And the lug to lug, tip to tip, it's 47.1, which is really, really nice. So it's not too long. It does add a bit of length, given it's got male end links to the center link, so it comes in at 53.2. But you've got a good bit of downturn there, you'll see, guys. And it does hug the wrist nicely, because the lug to lug generally, even though it's quite wide, it's not very long. So it does sit on the wrist very nicely. You'd have seen that in my outside shots, and you'll also see it in a moment when I pop it on the wrist. But there you go, guys. That's the proportions of the watch. The bezel is a unidirectional 120 click ceramic bezel. So I'll let you listen. Yeah, no complaints. A little bit lighter maybe than I would like, but it lines up bang on. No bounce, no back play. The clicks are all, each one as crisp as the last. So yeah, no worries with the bezel at all. The crown is situated down at the 4 o'clock-ish position. It's a screw down crown. Obviously I've left it, I'll screw it back up in a bit. Signed on there with an S for Seestern. Perhaps I would like to have seen them put maybe a starfish on there, but yeah, the S is fine. The case back is screwed down. I'll show you one more time. It's got various bits of information on there. It's a stainless steel 316L, 20 atmospheres, sapphire crystal, and S416 is the model number, which I spoke to you about already. So there we go. The bracelet, as I said, a little bit of tape on there, a couple of mil, but the finishing on it is just really, really nice. Really, really nice. Nice brushed, satiny brush on the bracelet. More coarse brushing on the case, but done nicely. Tapers down to the partly milled clasp. 4 levels of micro adjustment. It's got Seestern on there as well. But there you go. The crystal covering the dial is a sapphire crystal, because I tested it, which again, for what you're getting, is this unbelievable sapphire crystal. The water resistance is situated, you'll see, down at the 6 o'clock position. So it's stated as being 200 meters, so that'll give you 660 feet, also known as 20 atmospheres of water resistance, and the weight will appear in the top right. Probably not unexpected. It's coming at just below 175 grams with 3 links removed. With those 3 links back in, you're probably at 190 grams, and it is a big watch though, isn't it? So that's probably hardly surprising. But there we are, guys. Just give me a moment. Let me give it a quick wipe. Okay, thanks for that, guys. So let's have a look at the dial now, guys, in a bit more detail. So what you've got a rehaut in black with white lines every hour, every minute, if you like. I like the fact the rehaut is actually filling that space. Sometimes with these watches you do get a massive gap with nothing on it, so the rehaut has got a minute track on there, which is good. You've got applied battens everywhere, slightly smaller at 3, 6, 9 and 12, because they've got Arabics below them. The hands and indices, the indices are all polished, the hands are brushed, and I do really like the brushing on there. I know it's just in keeping with the watch, it's homaging, but I do like the way it's finished. Nice contrast on the polished indices to the high brushed hands. Nicely done, nice proportions. The blue sunburst dial is obviously going crazy right now, which is beautiful to see. Seestern's been printed on just below the 12. Automatic 200 M, 660 feet is just above the indices at the 6. I'll bring the loom up now. Everything's loomed that you can see. Watch this, guys. Stunning. The loom on this, for what you're getting, Seestern are not playing games. The loom on this is exceptional. So yeah, marvel at it just for a second. Really, really nice. So that's the loom. The movement, as I said, NH35 movement. I've already unscrewed it from the case. So where it's in the position when it pops from the case, a little bit of pop on there. You can turn it away from you to charge it up. If you take it all the way out, you'll see the second hand will hack. You put it back in, you take it out to the first position, turn towards you, you'll see the date changing. You would have seen a moment ago as well. The date also has got a loom on it. So if you're outside, you'll still be able to see what the date is. And like I said, if you take it all the way out, it will hack. So you can set the time bang accurately for what you want it for. And then when you're done, you just screw it back up to the case. They've got a little bit of, they've recessed it a little bit into the case. You'll see that at the back. But yeah, nice to engage with, nice size crown. But that's the dial, guys. That's everything going on there. Black ceramic bezel with the contrast of the blue dial, but it looks black in places, so it works really well. But there you are. Let me just pop it on the wrist quickly, give you an idea of what it looks like on my wrist. Okay, so guys, this is what it looks like on my wrist. My wrist is just above a 7-inch wrist for your reference, and it doesn't look too big, does it? It's quite surprising. I know because it's quite wide at 44mm, but 47mm lug to lug. I know it's got mil endings to the center link, but it does hug the wrist very nicely. And I've just really enjoyed wearing this. I've had it on for a couple of weeks now, but there we are. Very, very pretty thing. This will be my color choice, but like I said, a couple of other color variations to choose from. Okay, so guys, that would now take me on to what I think is pants and pucker about the watch. If you've ever watched before, you know I always start with pants. I like to go on a high with pucker. So what I think is pants, I kid you not, guys, I've really been struggling to find anything to say for pants. And that's not even just because of the £90 price point. It's just because I think it's just an exceptional watch, really. Not small, but it's kind of the same sort of proportions as the watch it's homaging. So I'm going to be very nitpicky. The only thing I'm going to mention is the pressed outer shell on the clasp. Yeah, I wasn't going to mention anything, to be honest, but I don't like not mention anything, so that's all I've mentioned, is the fact that it's pressed, not really in keeping with the quality of the watch generally. So that's all I'm going to say for pants. What I think is pucker, lots more. I've got to say the dial on this is a winner. That blue, dark blue dial that sort of changes different sort of tones to black at the edges, it's beautiful. I'm not going to lie. The hands I mentioned already, the way they're sort of brushed, looks quite coarse against the sort of clean and high polished hands. Yeah, very nice. The indices, still, they're done very, very well. The bezel on this is bang on. No complaints. Like I said, maybe if I was being nitpicky, they could have tightened it a little bit, but yeah, it's fine. The loom, exceptional. Bezel's fully loomed. The hands, indices, everything. Loom is fantastic. The bracelet, yeah, I think the bracelet is just, it belies the price. Honestly, I've got an Orient Star watch that I love, and the finishing is really on a par with that, to be honest. I kid you not. And I think that watch is unbelievable. The clasp, like I said, generally, I do think the clasp is good. Like I know I mentioned the outer shell. I don't mind the friction release. I love, but more to the point, I love the fact they've taken that polished bit off there. That didn't need to be there. That was something that I didn't like in the past. So that's another reason I mentioned the clasp. The finishing, I think, even for twice the price, the finishing on this watch would be unreal. It's just so well finished, so well put together. The brush, polished surfaces, the tolerances, the finish on this watch generally is unreal. And the price, £90. I don't think you can get a better watch for £90. I really don't. I go that far. Seestern have gone full circle with me now. And yeah, for 90 quid, I just don't think you can get better than this, to be honest. So just to surmise what I think is, puckers, I'll go with a dial, hands, indices, bezel, loom, bracelet, clasp, finishing, and price. That is some list, isn't it? That is some list. And that would now take me on to, would I recommend the watch? And it feels silly to even ask that question now, given the disparity in pants and pucker. But of course I would. Guys, whilst this is going for this sort of price, I would implore you to pick one up. Because but even if they put the price up, I would still pick it up, because this watch is unreal. Brought it in for a review. I'm not so sure I'm going to sell it anytime soon either. So there we go. I think that speaks volumes. But guys and girls, please let me know what you think about this watch, and maybe any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And as always say, don't forget to like, subscribe, and always watch the time. Take care, guys. All the very best.